Hello, I'm Harold Shepley, CEO of Harold Shepley & Associates. We are a full-service debt relief law firm. Now this message is going out primarily to pastors and other church leaders. And I know as a pastor you wear many different hats, and some of those hats sometimes don't fit so well. I know that oftentimes you're the spiritual leader, maybe the manager of the church, you may serve on the board, but sometimes you're the marriage counselor, sometimes you're the financial counselor, and the list goes on. Well, we can't help you with many of those hats, but we can help you with the financial hat. And just to give you an idea of why I'm sending this to you and my passion for helping people is I've been where many of your current church members are. Matter of fact, I've probably had it far worse. At one point in my life, I needed to file bankruptcy. I had the sheriff come to my house, ready to sheriff sale everything that I owned. My wife was standing beside me, tears were running down her face, asking me, are they going to take the baby's toys? Are they going to take the baby's crib? And I did what many other people would do at that point in time. I went out and I hired the cheapest attorney that I could. You know what? I got exactly what I paid for. So I know the pain that people have went through. And unfortunately, knowing the things I know now, if I had been given that advice then, I very well may have never had to file bankruptcy. And people don't want to file bankruptcy. They're hurting. And right now there's people hurting right now in your own church. And some of them come to you and they're asking you for help. And sometimes you give them a few tips, some budgeting techniques, but oftentimes that just isn't enough. Or oftentimes you may refer them to a consumer credit counseling company. And they go out and they talk to this company looking for help. And they get a price, like maybe they're paying $700 a month on their credit cards. And they come back and say, your new payment's going to be $720. Well, that's $20 higher than what they're already paying. How could they ever succeed at doing that? And 85% of the people that join consumer credit counseling will fail within the first year. So these are people that are coming to you looking for help. And they come looking for help and they're already failing. You refer them to something and yet they fail again. And the question often is, do they ever even come back to you? Because now they feel like they left you down. And it's very frustrating because these are people that are getting harassing calls day and night. And they don't know where to go. They don't know where to turn. Sometimes there's people in your church that aren't contacting you at all. And that's even more scary. They're having these financial issues and yet they don't reach out for you for help because maybe they're some of the very people I'm talking to on this video right now. You have serious church leaders that don't want the rest of the congregation or don't want you as the pastor to know where they currently are. They need help and they don't know where to turn. So what I'm offering as Harold Shepley & Associates is a full-service debt solution. And what I mean by that is when people call consumer credit counseling, you would think that they get counseling. But it doesn't work that way. They often, when they call in, they often hear, okay, what do you owe on your credit cards? Okay, this is your new payment. When do you want to get started? Well, there's no counseling there. When people contact our law firm, and it's a free consultation, we're going to go through their budget with them, and we can do it right over the telephone. We're going to ask what they pay for gas, what they pay for groceries. We're going to find out what they pay for rent, their mortgage, what they owe on their credit cards. We're going to go through all that with them because we want to know that we're setting them up for success and not failure. And it's not a one-step solution. We have many different things that we can do to help people out. Sometimes people just need help with their credit cards, personal loans, things like that so that they can pay their mortgage. Sometimes the mortgage is the problem. They have a high interest rate on their mortgage, and if they could just get that modified, get that down, then they could pay their other bills as well. Sometimes it's just a matter of credit restoration. They just need to get their credit cleaned up a little bit so they can get a decent interest rate again. You know, these are things that we're going to go through to help find a solution for them. But we do more than that. And what I'm offering to your church today is we will come to your church and do what I call a free financial seminar. And it usually takes about an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes, but we get very detailed. We give the budgeting tips and techniques so that maybe your congregation, members of your congregation, will never have to visit me. Things that if I had known, maybe I would have never had to file bankruptcy. Those are some of the tips we give. But we go further than that. It's tough love. We're going to talk to your congregation about giving the leftover to the Lord, which many of them do right now. And what I'm talking about is when the offering plate gets passed around, they reach in their wallet and they give their leftover. Actually, they probably only give a portion of their leftover. And how is the Lord ever going to bless them when that's the way that they tithe? Because you and I both know it's not a tithe. And I will have that conversation with them. We will have the conversation where we educate people on giving the first 10% to the Lord, keeping the next 10% for yourself. It's a novel concept for some people, actually keeping 10% of your money out of every single pay and living on 80% of your income. We will have those discussions with them. And yes, I know these are difficult. This is a difficult issue, and sometimes it is easier for me as an outsider to come in and have that discussion with your people. And the nice thing we do, we keep everything confidential. When we come in, we give a seminar, we pass out cards. There's places, everyone has to turn the card back in, so no one feels out of place. Everyone turns the card back in, but if they don't check a box, they will never, ever hear from us. We're not going to places where we're not wanted or not needed. But we do it in such a way that keeps confidentiality so that no one in your church ever feels like they were targeted or singled out or anything like that. We want to make this as comfortable for them as possible. And then we go a little bit further. This isn't about just getting out of debt and staying out of debt. It's about passing what they've kept onto their family members. So we're going to talk about wills, living wills, power of attorneys, why you need them, and the cost-effective ways of getting them. And we're going to discuss that, but we're also going to discuss that, guess what? It's okay. It's okay to give a portion of your estate to the church when you pass away. And we're going to talk about that with them as well. So it's a jam-packed hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half that we're going to spend with your congregation. And again, that's at absolutely no cost. So I hope you've heard some things here today that you like. Obviously, I'm sure you're going to have some additional questions. And I encourage you to call my law firm, or I encourage you to go to our website and get more information. And if you have any questions, please give us a call. We're here to help. You have your calling, and I have my calling. I have been blessed. I remember when I went through what felt like torture at the time, asking the Lord, why me? What have I done? Why do I have to go through this? And the Lord has blessed me this side of heaven with knowing that I went through all that so I could help other people. So I encourage you to give my law firm a call, and let's see what we can do to help out any of you watching this, helping out people in your community, helping out your congregation. We're here to serve. Thank you.